folks. We are here at the new John Deere 6110M. I gotta get used to saying that number. But it was delivered yesterday on Friday, and today's Saturday. I have got some work to do, and I am going to be using this tractor. I got 40, maybe 50 rolls. I hope there's 50 rolls down there. I got about 5 loads of hay I got to pull out of that bottoms area, we call it. One of you noted my 10-minute logging road drive down to get down there, but that's what I'm going to be doing with it today. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in one of the roughest situations I've got to get in and out of, but I'm going to lug it with that with those. I get 10 rolls out of the load, so of approximately 4 by 6 bales. They're bales that I bale for myself to feed. So anyway, it's here, it's untouched, it's as it was delivered to me. So I wanted to get a video over it, go around it while it was clean before I do anything to it here, and to show you it as it is. I will admit I have not been through the manual yet on the tractor. I have got it. I'll show you that here in a second, but there's some things I don't know yet, don't understand, haven't been through. So if I say something don't make sense about it, or if I point out something I'm not quite sure what it is, that's what I mean by that. Some of you may know some of the things I don't, and can comment or whatnot about them. But until I can get through the manual and figure a few little things out, I don't know it completely. But I did, before I pulled it out of the shed here, I checked all the fluid, checked the oil, coolant, everything, looked over it really good. And it looks like everything's been greased on it already, so you know, it's pretty much ready to go to fill. So I'm not too worried about that. And I do have the manual with me, so if something weird goes on, I can hopefully thumb through it and figure it out until I get a chance to thoroughly go through it. I normally like to go through a manual on something like this on all my tractors, and kind of get my head wrapped around a lot of things that are important to know, but I just haven't had the chance to do that yet. But anyway, we're going to go around it here. I will show you that manual, because I thought that was interesting. This is the manual, and there's how thick it is. That's the thickest operator's manual I have ever got on a tractor. But I don't have one for the loader. I told them about that. It somehow didn't get put in the tractor. Oh, while I'm here. But they're getting me a manual to the loader. And it is a 620R loader, as most of you've seen. It is the non-self-leveling version, but it does have this new latching system, which I've watched a few videos out there on how this works. It's a little bit different than what I've had in the past and how they unhook. It's made to be a little simpler, but again, I haven't taken it off yet, so I don't know. I did get the bucket with this one. Normally I don't get a bucket because I've already got a bucket to fit the global carrier, but I did go ahead and get the bucket. I'll explain why I did that later. There is the top link here in the floor. It's not even been put on yet. It goes back here. So I'm going to put that on in a few minutes. This hitch here is, I messed with that a minute ago, but I really don't need this top piece right now, so I'm probably going to pull part of this off, and then I'm going to pull this hitch out, because it's all the way in right now. PTO is still covered up. We got the extendable links, obviously, and we got the stabilizer bars, I guess you call them, on each side. My 6415 only has one on one side, so I like this. We got 2 outlets, and they are the outlets that drain the oil, excess oil. You may have noted me note on my Massey how it would be oily back here just from plugging and unplugging hydraulic hoses. So you've got a hose here that drains that down, so you don't have a messy mess back here. Your hydraulic oil is back here, so it's a sight tube just like the Massey, no dipsticks or anything, or little glass holes to look through. This here is going for the loader, I believe. The hydraulics for the loader. Yeah, the Massey has three outlets. Like I said, I only ever need 2 at a time, so that was plenty. We got the controls on the fender. We do have a PTO button. I don't know if that acts like the one on the Massey or not. There's one on each, one on each side. So I'll have to read up on that. The tires. These are, one of you noted the rear tires look small. It's not. These are 34s. Where are they? Yeah, 34s. So we got 24 34s, and so yeah, they're just slightly shorter than the 38s that are on the Massey, but they're the same height as what's on the 6415, and they're Firestones. That's what's on the 6415, and those have been fairly good tires, except for the front tires. I've had plenty of flats on the front tires of the 6415, but these tires are really wide. I believe these are the widest tires I've had on a tractor. I wasn't sure if I'd like that or not. I mean, for muddy situations, it'll probably float better, but if I do any more row crop, this would not be too good to spray with, I don't think, because you'd be smashing down a lot of stuff, maybe. But that's what was on it, and that's what it is. But yeah, I'm talking about these tires looking small. The cab is raised up. This gap between here is much higher than I've ever seen on one, and I don't know the full reasoning for that, other than the fuel tank is taller because they've got the DEF tank in here as well with it. So you can see it's right up here to the bottom of the cab, and there's a control module. You can see the heat sink for electronic unit right here. And there's some of the pumps and drive motors for the DEF tank sitting right in there. Yeah, there's a little shield here. I don't know what all's in behind there. I have to look, but that's one reason maybe why the cab's jacked up. Here is the engine heater. I believe it came with a plug. Looks like it's got a breaker built into it, so that plugs in there. So it has that. But yeah, on this cab, I think another reason why they may have raised this cab up, so you can see this big mount right here for the cab. They do offer cab suspension on these tractors now, and that suspension unit fits right here on each side, and that may be another reason why the cab is jacked up the way it is. It's not much higher, but I mean, it's noticeable. I mean, you can tell it's jacked up, and I was a little iffy about that at first, just because it's going to put the cab up higher and closer to tree limbs and stuff like that, but that's the way they are now. So and that is a difference between the you done got grease on me. That is a difference between the 6105, 6115s, and 6125s, which was the model just before this one. So now we're at the 6110s, 6120, and 6130s for the 4-cylinder 4.5 liter John Deere PowerTech motor, which is what is in here. Yes, it does have DEF, as I just showed you a minute ago. I'm not too happy about that, but it is what it is. This is a 2015 model, by the way, and it is brand new. And I will explain the deal probably in another video. But I won't go over all that because I'm going to cram too much information into one video here. But you have the okay, the diesel particulate filter is under the hood. I'll raise the hood in a minute. And then you have the SCR system here. So this would be part of your diesel exhaust fluid and the SCR. So you got two modules now. The 105, 115, 125s just had a diesel particulate filter, but on the 110s, 120, 130s, you've got this new big can hanging off the side of the tractor, which is very ugly looking in my opinion, but it is there. But after having the Ram now for a little over a year, and it's, you know, it has a diesel particulate filter and the diesel exhaust fluid. Now my 08 Ram had just the diesel particulate filter, and like I said, it gave me some trouble because it regened a lot. The engines that have the DPF and the diesel exhaust fluid system, or SCR system, tend to have a smaller diesel particulate filter and a smaller exhaust gas return cooler, and tend to regen less often because of that system, and that's a good thing. I mean, there is more components here in this system to go bad, which is one of the things that bothers me. But the fact that the engine don't regen as often is a good thing to me, and I think that it's good for the components of the emission system. It's also good for the engine itself, because any of you that know that process knows that creates a lot of heat, and you know, it's circling soot back through the engine and that kind of thing. So that was kind of one of the things I was weighing between getting a used, like a 105 or a 115 or 125 versus the 110, 120, and 130s. And it just turned out this was the better deal for me to take, and that's what I did. Yeah, that's just a quick run around here. The outside, it does have the quick disconnect for the hydraulics, which is pretty standard now. It does have some valves for locking the loader in place, I believe, when you disconnect the loader. Somebody just shot. Let's see, on this loader, I was happy to see that it has the automatic latch here, like the Massey kind of does now. So when you roll this on the 6415 or on that 563 loader over there, when you roll this back, this pin automatically latches whether there's an implement in here or not. On this particular loader, I don't know who that is going up the road over there. On this particular loader, it will not automatically latch unless your implement you're attaching to bumps this plate and then latches it. And the Massey's kind of that way. I like that. So I was glad to see that on this. I did have the lights up top. It only had two lights on the roof. I did have the other two lights added. It also only had one light in the rear on the top, and I had the second light added up there as well. So you may have heard me note that lights were added in the video I did at the dealership. That's what was going on with that. The lights in the front, there's usually 6 lights. It's got 4. It's got your 2 main big ones. It's got these 2 kind of like projector lenses, but it does not have the corner lights. These lights right here, that's just a blank in there. I looked those up. The it's glass. I can get the corner lights. They're not bad. The problem is I don't think the wiring is in place for them, which means you'd have to get another wiring harness that runs down the length of the hood, and I priced that at like $300 something. So I'm just gonna see how it does as it is. I would have liked to have those corner lights. Of course, they kind of interfere with the loader here a little bit. But if you raise the loader up just a little bit, you could get a good projection of light out that corner maybe. But I'll probably be fine without them. I'll look and see if the connectors are there for these lights. You know, I might get lucky. If they are, I may put them in because they weren't that bad expensive. But if it's not, I ain't gonna buy that wiring harness. So I don't want to go splicing stuff either. So we'll leave that as it is. This tractor turns very sharp. This was one of the tighter turning 4-wheel drives of this size of a tractor I've seen, and I was very happy to see that. They have cut some cutouts here in the loader frame, it looks like, for the tire to come in here and not hit. This area here is also kind of done this way, so when this tire turns in here, you don't hit anything. Of course, that caused them to take the battery out of the front, which I was very happy to see that they don't have the batteries in the front anymore. That's always been a pain. But the batteries are now in here, and it's a very big battery. I shouldn't say batteries, it's one battery. And they've got a positive lead here you can get to jump it, I guess, or jump something else off. But I a little bit dread getting that out if I ever have to replace it, because it's in there. So yeah, that's where they put the battery now. But yeah, just giving you a brief run around. It's got the mirrors. It's got toolboxes, nice. Let's hop up inside. Alright, it's basically the same dash that you've seen for years. As y'all know, I really kind of wanted a cab. I like the R cab, but they are pricey, and I did look at one used one, and I had some concerns with the cab after seeing that used one. There was some that tractor had about 500 hours on it, and there were screws coming out of the interior and some different things that bothered me. But this cab, and the way it's set up, is pretty much, I mean, yeah, it's been slightly tweaked and modified over the years, but you know, this cab in general came out in the 90s. I want to say almost the early 90s. The roof was a little bit of a different design, but they kind of had this layout for years and years, and I just felt comfortable with it. It's very similar to the 6415. I mean, almost. I mean, yeah, it's got different transmission and gears and stuff, but in the 6415 don't have this unit. The air conditioner all's up in the ceiling. But I mean, this is all the same. Of course, the dash is a little different on the 6415, but this particular dash, it has changed a little over the years. But just this module and how it's mounted, I mean, they've had that for years, so it should be well proven. They do have cup holders. We've got a cup holder over here, which I'm gonna have to figure out. We've got some mounting points here for the brackets for the Beller monitor, and I'll have to put my GPS unit in here. But we got a cup holder there, and we got a cup holder down here. We do have the buddy seat. We got a little storage compartment up here, and we got the radio put in with Bluetooth. I hadn't even turned that on yet. We've got visors both in the front and in the rear. So that's up. 24 speed. This is the Power Quad Plus, I believe they call it. So we got 24 speeds. This is the most speeds I've ever had in a tractor. So I'm gonna have to get used to that a little bit, having that many ranges and that many gears. So you've got 6 ranges, 4 power shifts per range, 4 power shift gears per range. So that's, you got 2 buttons here, or you've got a button here, or you've got buttons on your loader joystick. Then this top button here is actually a declutch button, so you can shift from range by just pushing that button in and going up to the next range and letting out, without having to use the actual foot clutch down there. So that's handy. I like that. Yeah, I've heard me note some declutch buttons before on the Massey's and whatnot, so I'm glad to see Deere using that here. PTO 3-point hitch module is pretty much the same thing they've had for years. The same thing it's in the 6415. 2 hydraulic spools, outlets here, air conditioning controls. There is an engine speed knob here, I do believe is what that is. We have the lights, which I believe they changed that button out. Yes, they did. So that was part of them installing the front lights. So it looks like you can run 2 or the 4 maybe. PTO brake maybe. I'm gonna have to look up what that button there is. Rear windshield wiper, power outlet. The iTech, I don't know what it is just yet. I've got to read up on that. Full drive control for mentioning that. Loader joystick, got 3rd functions on the back, which I do not have installed. Power shifts, and I don't know exactly what that is. It looks like a bucket shake kind of deal. I don't know. I gotta look into that. Windshield wipers, turn signals, power reverser. The steering wheel does come in and out, just like most all of them do. But the dash has changed just a hair from the 105, 115, 125s to the 110, 120, 130 units. The radio does work. I just never listen to it. Okay, turn it down. On the 105, 115, 125s, there was 2 round gauges here. I think you had the temperature gauge and fuel gauge. Well, now these tractors have the diesel exhaust fluid, so they went to a digital screen here. I'd rather had the round gauges, to be honest, because I've seen in some of these tractors in the past, the older ones, in the like the 30s, the 60 30s, some of these bars, on my uncle's tractor, he's got a digital fuel gauge, and some of the bars have went out in it. So there's an area in between where from about 3/4 full to 1/4 full, you don't really know how much fuel you got. But anyway, they've got the fuel gauge and the DEF gauge here. So they've put about 3/4 of a tank of fuel in it, which is good, and they've plumb filled the DEF up, which I wish they wouldn't have done, because DEF does expand below certain temperatures, and you're not supposed to fill them plumb up in the wintertime because of that. But I'll get some of that run out today maybe. So this right here is the main difference between the 105, 115, 125s versus the 110, 120, 130s. I'll turn it back off. Well, there's your gears, and then you've got a touch screen here, which has different settings and information in it. I'm gonna have to get used to that, but I haven't been through everything yet on it. But there you go. It's got 8.1 hours on it right now. they did dyno the tractor at the PTO, and this tractor is rated at 86 PTO horsepower, 110 engine, and they dynoed it at 89 PTO horsepower is what they actually dynoed out at. So that's pretty good. But this will be plenty for me and what I'm going to be doing. And like I said, I'm really hoping this one works out good. I really want to just keep this tractor. This is the kind of tractor I really wanted to be in for a long time, and I'm really hoping this one works out. Like I said, I'll do another video on the actual deal and what we did here on this tractor. But yeah, I think I pretty much made a real quick run over it here, and it does have air seat. I didn't mention that, but it does have the air seat and the bigger armrests. But and I didn't show you the motor. Just bear with me a second on that. Alrighty, I needed both hands there. Can't see all of the motor because I did something I don't like here, which is put these panels on that have screws, 2 screws to take loose. So I can't really see down in there without taking these off, but there's one of the fuel filters right there. And your dipstick and oil fill right here, which I like where they put that. On the 6415, they're tucked behind this loader frame, and it's a little hard to get to, a little hard to put oil and stuff in it. So they've got it here where it's more accessible now, which is good. You got your screens and stuff in here. Yeah, and access to all your radiator, your air filter sitting up there. Turbo, the 6-cylinder versions I think have twin turbos now, or series turbochargers. I think this has just got one variable geometry turbocharger, kind of like the Ram Cummins does. Going on around here, you got your coolant right here, air conditioner compressor. I believe this is a crankcase vent filter right here. Your oil filter's back in there in the same spot they've always been. And there's another fuel filter, I think, back on the other side of it, which you would have to take this panel off for. Diesel particulate filters up there on the top of the motor. Yeah, other than those side panels, it seems fairly accessible to what you need to get to. It does have the strap here, so I'm assuming this hood will open up a little bit wider. I'll show that up there. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's it. Big, beefy front axle. That is a little bit beefier than they've been in the past, I do believe. But anyway, give you a little bit of a shot down there underneath. But yeah, that's that. I'm gonna get to getting that hitch pulled out back there, and get hooked up to my hay forks and my hay wagon and go and actually get something done. I'll try to get a little footage of me using it today, and then I will try to tell you a little bit about the deal and why I decided to go with this tractor, and give Deere one last chance. So I'll explain all that here in another video. Anyway, that was the quick run around overview of it as I have received it right now. I will put up more information about it and what I think later. I will say this, here's the tail end of the video. I'll note this in another video, but Cow Camp 87, Farmer MD, a few others out there that are running these tractors. I think Cow Camp has got 6125M. I think Farmer MD's got a 6115M, but their testimonials of their tractors was a large part in this decision to get this. particular model, and just a lot of your comments and what people were saying, both on YouTube, Facebook, text message, etc., um, went into this decision. So there was a lot of thought into this one, very much a lot of thought. But I will go into that more later. But I just wanted to tack that on the end of this video and give credit where it's due on that, and just thank those guys for the time they put into their videos to share that information, which helped me lead to this decision. But anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.